Alrighty, Ruin. To you and all my nobody's not watching out there. We're just gonna keep steamrolling through, not like watch it as we go along. Um, we're gonna have to get rid of Alexis this time because she doesn't need to win. I don't know. I'm probably gonna go with. I think his name is just Joe. If he earns it, I guess. I I don't know. I don't really. I don't know. Let's just find out stuff about the
Have
people we
you
got
ever
rid of
cheated on
sooner
anyone?
last time.
Yes and no.
Okay.
No, not really. I I don't believe in
Oh yeah, I
loyalty.
forgot about this. Yeah, you're.
I would never have a one-on-one
I
relationship.
feel like that's
I do mess around with multiple partners, but they all know that we're in an open relationship,
yeah.
so it's not cheating.
If it's
They're all
poly
allowed to have multiple
poly
partners together
discussed,
and
that's it's
listen to
been
me.
if everybody's aware,
Even saying
then
that they're allowed to have multiple partners sounds wrong to me.
I think this is the thing I liked
I
most about you is
I
just
just
at
don't
least you were like
understand
that way,
monogamy. How
and the
can you tell another
only
person they aren't allowed to do things that make
and then
them
I still had a
happy?
problem with that. It's like because
That just
sometimes hitting
seems
people in the head makes
so
people
controlling to
happy.
me.
With like a hammer, just like pop, pop,
I
pop,
could
pop,
never
pop,
let
pop,
this
pop,
up
pop. But
or let
that
someone
was the
leave it
thing I
to me.
liked most about her, not the hammer thing. I just think she's a liar. I just don't think she's real. Um, what's your proudest
What is
accomplishment,
your
person?
proudest accomplishment?
I organized a demonstration to save a park, and it worked.
Your
They were going to level the place
was it
and build a
Leslie
distribution center. We had people protesting at the site
from
for 3 weeks
Parks and
straight
Rec?
and got over 1,000 names on the petition. They ended up building the distribution center on the site of a nearby abandoned mall instead, so we didn't lose any jobs or anything. It
Brandon
was a
Mall.
complete win.
Win frickin' win, baby. Dead Mall. How about the wallet?
If you found a wallet, would you return it?
I would return it, but I wouldn't be doing the owner a favor by doing so. People are obsessed with money and credit cards. They think money will buy them the freedom to enjoy life.
It
Really, the
kind of
quest to
does
acquire
to a
wealth
certain
just makes you a
degree.
slave to your employer.
There's a sweet spot.
Still, it's their wallet, so of course I'll return
At least you got that. Like I get what you're saying, and I very much understand the whole Fight Club mentality of just like I was a slave to the nesting instinct, to IKEA and all that shit. Like I had a wardrobe very close to being complete. It's like if I saw a little coffee table in the shape of a yin yang, I had to have it. The Flexotron exercise bike, just like I get it. Like I'm not a materialistic consumerist type person, other than the sense that one has to be. And I'm literally playing a game that I don't support in the sense that it's a digital copy, but I don't know if this has a non-digital copy. And again, it cost me like $5 on a system that was a gift. The only thing I think I purchased for this thing, other than this discounted game, is the headphones that I'm playing with, and they were discounted too. I prefer physical media because you should. It's better for all the things, except for the environment. But it's better. I'm sorry. That's the one time I'm gonna be like, the environment can take the hit. Physical media is about us being able to have rights as consumers, as people who purchase media and just stuff. Please support physical media, but I don't know if this actually has a physical media existence thing. I get what you're saying. It's just not being poor sucks, and a lot of poorness is a thing. Where'd the middle class go? It was like, also, I don't believe that you actually live in a van down by the river. I mean, beach. Rest in peace, Farley. Rest in peace, lunch lady. I miss you, man. I miss you. Because you just don't. you look like you're selling it. You look like, again, it's a con. But whatever. They're chasing money is bad. You don't, but having I don't agree. Like, oh, I'm hurting that person. If they had a whole bunch of money, maybe you'd be hurting them by returning their money. But the average person is like, man, they're just trying to eat. Isn't it nice to take a walk down the street? Blue skies, sunshine, what a day to take a walk on. Yeah, no. They're just trying to go to their corner bodega and, buy liquor in exchange for a used Sega. Bruh. You're not hurting them by giving them their money back. But at least you would. How about that trolley?
You're the conductor on a runaway trolley.
She's like,
there are 5 people
I don't support trolleys.
who
It's
cannot
like,
get off
public,
the tracks in time.
public
If you continue forward,
transportation.
you will run over and kill all 5 of them. You cannot stop the trolley, but you can change to an alternate track where there is only one person on it. If you decide to change tracks, the 5 people on the first track will live, but the one person.
I wonder what you're gonna say
alternate
because I don't remember
track
if I
will run
asked
over
her.
and die. Do you change tracks?
I change tracks and hit the
Oh, yeah.
one person.
That.
The only argument I can see for staying on the current track is that I might feel guilty if I actively made a decision that
There
killed
you go.
one
You're
person.
acknowledging the thing.
But one person dying and me feeling guilty about it certainly isn't as bad as 5 people dying.
And you're still gonna feel guilty about the 5. Your inaction for action is still action. And it's worse. It's just you didn't push the button. My thought is always still, who are the people? And it's like, well, you're not going to be able to tell, motherfucker, because they're just all tied there, by friggin' that OG forgettable, like no one even knows the reference, like the long twirling mustache villain, the thin twirled mustache villain who's just like, I tie people to train tracks. It's like, people don't even know what that is anymore. They're just like, you mean what you do in Red Dead Redemption? Like, that's fun. I like doing that. It's like, yeah, sure, why not? Watch people watching. They reference it. I guess some people probably still know that's a thing. Oh, I just made myself sad thinking about what was it? I think it was Evil, the series where they have a episode that talks. I don't know how accurate it was, and I don't care. I don't want to. But just a guy is a train conductor and has a problem in the series, and it's just like people keep using it as a means of unaliving themselves, and it's unpleasant part of the job. And I'm like, how much does that happen? Don't want to know. Not gonna look. Not a train conductor. I know enough about train conducting and how bad the train system is in America at this point because thank you, John Oliver, that needs to be fixed, but they didn't talk about that aspect of it. But don't you, I think he deserved that punishment, don't you? It's like, no! Freaking British ass Thomas the Tank Engine, he didn't want to get wet, you're just gonna friggin' Cask of Montiago him? That's fucked up. Fuck you. You can see he's just stuck there forever. That's it's like, well, I guess he's not getting wet, but what's wrong with y'all? Okay, nobody's gonna get that. That's just like, what are you on? It's like, not enough sleep. And also just too much media. I just know too many things, and it's like, dude, what referenced that recently that wasn't John Oliver? It was some more news. Nice. Wow. They probably, I mean, I'm pretty confident that they watch, like those two things seem to be in tandem. A lot of times they're synchronistic. That it seems like they definitely watch each other. It's like, hey, they nod. They got the same sort of thing, and I love both of them. Check them out. They're good. Anyway, let's see. Did I ask about your law breakingness?
What
Because
is
I
the
imagine
most serious law
eco-terrorism
you have
is
ever
your thing.
broken?
So drug dealing in states where it wasn't legal yet. I guess I've technically sold it too, which would be a more serious crime.
Yeah.
I was never a drug dealer, but if I bought a bunch and then some of my friends bought off of me, I guess that's.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to watch The Lost Boys.
In terms of legal penalties, that would be the most serious.
I doubt that.
The penalties for drug-related charges are ridiculous.
You are 100% correct about that. But I seriously doubt that because I'm going to assume that your eco activism has probably, like, all I know is that you changed yourself to some trees and it didn't work out well. But unless that was a one-time, okay, well that didn't work out well, I'm not going to do that ever again. I'm still pretty sure that's probably some sort of against the lawness, that peaceful protest is still actively interfering in some ways, probably a felony just because that's how things work in this country. It's automatically a felony if it upsets a corporation and prevents them from making profit in some way. Also, I wouldn't say that, I mean, look at those eyes. I wouldn't, like, if you are at all who you say you are in any way, shape, or form, even just halfway, I mean, you definitely look like you participated in, you know, blowing up a pipeline or something. Like, you don't just look like you're like all peace and love hippie. You look like it's fun to watch it burn. The you know, it's like, okay, they're just gonna do it again, but there's probably better ways to do it. But, and if you didn't chain yourself to the right trees, maybe you're not good at the targeting aspect of it. But I really doubt it was just a little bit of the green day here and there, you know, smoke, all that. How about that? Oh, nope, I already know. Okay. I'm gonna come back to you. I think you're just, I don't know. I basically think it's gonna probably be between these two and Joe. Because I don't know. I think they're all liars. Well, let's work our way through her. Like,
What is your most embarrassing guilty pleasure?
I just think you're a liar. I'm gonna see if I can catch any references.
I love window shopping at those really fancy stores that only rich people can
Pretty Woman.
I just...
Oh, Walmart.
Oh, if I was wealthy, I could have that and that and that.
Big mistake.
So glamorous.
Huge.
Really afford to buy things there, but yeah, you can.
It's Walmart. I know you're trying to break my heart there, buddy, but you know, just because you're not having breakfast at Tiffany's or Pretty in Pink and all that shit, you know, Diamonds Are a Girl Best Friend and all that shit. I just don't... Bruh, you're just not a realistic version of poverty. You just aren't, like, at all. At all. Like, you just don't... It doesn't work. How about the trolley? How about laws?
What's the most serious
Just
law?
trying to say how big a liar you are. I don't know.
International policy.
Forgot.
When I was lost at sea one time.
Makes it sound like there's more than one time, but it's still
a
just the
pirate
thing.
ship came by and actually rescued me. Now you
I
heard
mean-
bad things about pirates, and so had I, but they could not have been nicer.
It depends
They
on
gave
the
me a job to
pirates.
crew on ships so that I could earn my keep when I was there.
You gotta
Everything was
swab
going great until they got superstitious.
The dead.
Superstitious, so they thought for some reason it might be bad
I'd like
luck that I was
to
on board with them.
switch out
So
the
we were just about to drop
vowels
me
there,
off.
buddy. No, but I made
We got
myself
raided
sad.
by a Russian ship.
Also, I did look that up.
Oh,
Russian Navy.
Russian jail for 5 years.
I don't think anybody goes to Russian jail for 5 years, especially modern times. No hate against Russians. I actually really like. Well, I'm not so fond of their current stuff now, but as a people, I like them. I don't necessarily like their policies, but I like them as a people and as a culture. I guess that's the best way I could put it. I don't really agree with what they're doing in a lot of ways. Not going to go into it. Not important. Moving on. I'll just be on and on and on. But they don't really, like, they have technically, I think I looked it up, they have like the 3rd best Navy in the world, or 6th. Somewhere between 3rd and 6th. Which, as big as they are and as militant as they are, you know, it makes sense. But they don't have that much exposure to the water, so it's like they really had to work for that because they don't have as many areas for ports and stuff. So it's like that's more of a mark of their militantness. But they do have that. But it's mostly just as a part of the whole Cold War leftover remnants and just, you know, it's important for them to have that militant presence and stuff, and I'm not going to go into that either. So you could totally get caught. But it's like, I'm trying to like triangulate your friggin' position. So I know that you borrowed some like flotation chairs from a friend. Your accent is what it is. You ended up on a deserted island, drawn out to sea, picked up by pirates, ended up in a Russian jail. I feel like, again, this is more of a reference to a movie than anything else. Like, and I just wouldn't know, like, oh no, it's like I worked with pirates when I was a woman and I ended up in a Russian jail. It's like 5 years is, I just don't really see that making a lot of sense. And I can't think of a movie where it's like, oh, a woman's picked up by pirates, they're nice, ends up in a Russian jail. Totally a thing, probably. I just don't know. Did we do the trolley problem for you?
You're the conductor. On a runaway trolley, there are 5 people on the track.
Saying it so happily.
You cannot get off the tracks in time. If you continue forward, you will run over and kill all 5 of them.
Then he gets more grave.
But you can change to an alternate track which only has 1 person on it. If you decide to change tracks, all 5 people on the first track will live. But the person on the alternate track will be
Why are you smiling, dude? I see you.
You change tracks.
Smiling.
Before answering that, what you have to understand is that being run over by a trolley doesn't have to be
I
fatal.
remember you.
I've survived it at least twice now, and after an extended hospital stay, I was completely fine. You just have to avoid being crushed by the wheels when you're underneath.
Again.
So, in answer to your question, relative question, of course you switched to where the one person is because there's just not room under there for a crowd.
That's not how you... Look, yeah, if you were just walking across the street and didn't notice that there's a trolley coming because, you know, I don't know, headphones, you're hearing impaired, blind, sight impaired, I don't know. There's some reason, you know, somebody pushed you. You could, you know, get hit by a trolley and be survivable. This is some, you know, Old West evil tied to the tracks. You're gonna get just multi-kill, just like Highlander decapitated kind of thing going on. Also, you don't look like you've ever suffered any major injury in your entire life, but you keep talking about how every time you have. And I'm like, what is that a reference? Is it a reference to being hit by a trolley twice? Like, who's been hit by a trolley twice? Like, we got 2 more with you. I don't know if I ever asked you the job thing.
If you could have any job, what would it be?
Any job in the whole world? I would choose
Dictator.
to be a wealthy banker.
I would be the dictator.
Fortune, and your hours don't seem bad at all. I mean,
Depends on
when
the
line
type.
gets really long up to their till, that might get stressful.
Are you-
managing that, but apart from that, I mean, what's the downside?
Are you talking about like just a cashier banker? Because that's not like a wealthy banker. The wealthy bankers are like the top tier people, and you want to see some messed up. You want to hear some messed up stuff? Check out Moon YouTube channel about the banking parties and stuff. It's very not no Diddy, to say the least. It's all part of that Wolf of Wall Street lifestyle, and not in the fun Leonardo DiCaprio trying to drive a Lamborghini trying to board it upside down with his feet and shit, because he's like on decades old. I forget what they're called. Quaaludes. I think that's it. Yeah. What else? What do you do for a living? I don't think you do.
What do you do for
I
a
mean,
living?
you like I survive?
Well, I sold furniture for a while.
Your
Then I
own.
ran out of furniture.
Yeah. Not IKEA.
Then I sold shoes for a while. Ran into a similar problem.
This bitch needs to end up in fucking SCP 3008. You know, she needs to be in like the Infinite IKEA, because she'd be like, "Oi, this is much better." I was like, "Well, it sucks that I'll not find my child, but was I really going to? Is there even a child? If she's at all really this character, like for real, she'd do well in the Infinite IKEA. She's a survivor. She survived being hit by a trolley twice and compacted in a garbage truck, you know? She'd be good in the Infinite IKEA. She'd be more than content with, you know, she'd be like, "Oh, this is living. I'm rich here," you know? Check it out. Just the SCP Foundation. 3008 Infinite IKEA. Pretty interesting stuff. I like the SCP Foundation. It's fun stuff. Fun stuff. Interesting stuff. Internet. Yay! What were you like as a child?
What were you like as a child?
Wednesday, full of woe.
I had a big bullying problem when I was in school.
It's more of an addiction on your part,
I would
but
speak to guidance counselors, the principal about it.
they would force. That's called.
But
They
every
would
time
force
we
that
thought
you
it
would
was
be
under
called
control,
into the thing.
Something would happen.
That you would be called into the office, and then
One day, a group of children decided to
this is such a bad reason to be a bully. Like,
for fun.
let the little
What was I supposed to
verbal nerds do
do?
their
Not beat
thing.
any of them up.
Yeah, well, I mean, so there's a spelling bee. To me, it's like, you gotta have at least like 3 or 4 people, right? Like, minimum. You gotta have at least 3. Like, I guess you could just have 2, but it'd be more like a spelling duel. Which I'm sure is a thing in the proper nerd communities. Having been in spelling bees and been like, I don't want to win this. This is very uncomfortable. I'm not very good at spelling. I'm doing better than I... It's just vocabulary. I like words. I don't like spelling. But there's gotta be at least 3 to make it a B, right? B-E-E. But tisk, at least 3. But I would assume like 5? 3 to 5. Maybe just 3 because it's just like an unofficial thing. And it might just be like, oh, it's like they're working through their unresolved issues It's like, it's not fair. They asked me to spell something they had. Yes, that word for that word for the type of cancer you get from breathing in volcanic ash. It's like the longest word, but then somebody made a longer word just to be a dick. You know, it's like, and you got that word for the phobia of, I think it's, frick, I forget me saying I love vocabulary, forgets vocabulary words. Words that are the same forwards and backwards, I forget. Like, taco cat. I'm not going to remember right now, and I'm just going to be mad at myself later when I'll just try to keep moving forward, because I don't want to remember. I don't want to be mad at myself right now. But yeah, that's the thing. But whoever made it, it's like the word is itself. It's like, dude, that's mean. That's mean-spirited. Like, you are an unpleasant person because you went out of your way to use phobia backwards. For people who, for whatever reason, are afraid of words that are the same forwards and backwards, whatever the word is. There's a lot of other phobias that make a lot more sense. And then there's ones that don't. I forget what it's called, but there's one where somewhere, somehow, right now, there's a goose or a duck. I think it's some sort of fowl, but particularly a goose or a duck watching you right now. I don't know if that's really just a made up and somebody like Urban Dictionary'd it and it got into, or it's real or not. I probably won't look it up, but that's a thing, I think. There's other things that are more real, like being buried alive, which is pretty shitey enough that it's a real thing. George Washington apparently had a thing where he's like, had that, and he's like, nope, you keep my body not in the ground for 3 days to make sure I'm dead. And there were a lot of times where people would sometimes get buried alive, and they would have special coffins so that they had a little bell to be like, hey, and that's part of the vampire mythos and stuff. There's also just being, Ryan Reynolds movie that I didn't watch because it's probably the only one that I haven't, one of the few that I haven't watched by him, because I just heard nothing but bad things about it, and I might just watch it just out of fact that it's him, but also I just don't, that seems like such an unpleasant scenario, and I don't know. That's the thing. People are afraid of clowns. People are afraid of spiders. Arachnophobia is very common. Agoraphobia, acrophobia, blah 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 blah. Hydrophobia. Fucking the big deep water. That's scary as hell. Like, hey, what was your childhood dream? You're like, I just want to be a bully. I want to be a bully. It's like, they would have just jumped your ass. It's not like you look like a big person.
I've always wanted to be possessed by a demon.
In a sexual way?
That's still my dream.
I mean,
maybe one day I can make it happen.
I'm confident you can. There's, stands up and just does that, don't let your dreams be dreams! Just do it! But I'm Disc. I probably don't. I don't really support that sort of thing, but, tis the spooky season right now. Like, October something-ish. Pretty close. I've been working on my Halloween costume. Tis the season. You do the thing. You do tarot for a living. Necromancy. That's a pet peeve.
What's your most unusual?
I hate it when people whistle.
Oh, yeah.
Or sing.
Or make any joyful noise.